I'm very honored to speak to you today. It is a public holiday in Switzerland, and so I really have time to attend this webinar and to talk. I prepared a small presentation for you explaining who I am first. Then I show you two examples of reusing existing construction elements for a circular construction. And then I explain about our project Windows and more for Ukraine. So I've started my career as a well builder in Africa. We built well for drinking water. And I did some 10 years in Tanzania to repair the University of Dar es Salaam and to establish a maintenance system there. When I came back to Basel, I was really shocked on how we are wasting energy, we are wasting materials, we are wasting even people in our so-called civilized world. And I started to think, what can I do to stop this? I founded the Bauteilbörse, which is an institution saving construction materials, elements from the dump and to clean them and sell them again. So this is how it looks in this Bauteilbörse. The project was a big success from the idea, but it was a complete failure money-wise. We only managed to maintain the Bauteilbörse by employing jobless people who were paid for by the jobless insurance. So combining the waste of people's energy and work with the waste of construction materials, we came up with a scheme that worked. The main thing we invented by then was the platform on internet, and it still exists. It has changed names several times, and now it's called useagain.ch for Switzerland. And this is where we offer the construction elements which are for sale, which would be thrown into the dump, and where people can also say, I'm looking for something. And I'll come back to this later on. In the 28 years I'm working, I have been promoting a more sustainable construction industry, starting, as I said, with this Bauteilbörse and the accordingly internet platform. Then I founded an office which deals with participation and urban development. Another office followed an architectural practice, but it's really oriented for construction itself, building, not architecture, but just building and mainly repairing, renovating existing houses. Then another company followed where we are using temporarily empty houses, because that's also a waste. You have a house, you have a building, you have a factory, which is not used anymore. The doors are closed, vandalism occurs. So if you find a way on how to use them in the meantime, then it's a gain, it's a reduction of waste. And the last company I founded 3 years ago was a sort of a planning advisory company to architects. We try to help other architects to construct in a circular way, because we have made our experiences and we want to share them so that not everybody has to start in the beginning again. In very short words, I want to explain you our philosophy, which goes through all these 4 companies. This elevator had to be replaced. We had an offer 150,000 Swiss francs. And we said, no, this is really too much. The elevator serves 10 tenants. And we asked them, do you really want and need a new elevator, or can you do without, if you have to pay less money? And this was the answer. Everybody agreed to have less, to pay less, and not to have an elevator anymore, but a staircase. So this fulfills the three levels of sustainability. It is more ecological because less material is used, less CO2 is emitted. It fulfills economical issues because less money is spent. And mainly it also fulfills social demands because, first of all, we ask the tenants to participate in the decision. Second, the economy made goes to the tenants and not only to the owner. And third, it keeps the identity of the building. It's maintained. It is an industrial area. It has an industrial staircase, and it's still behind the old doors of the elevator. So this is just to explain how we work in all these societies. Now we come to the two examples of reuse. I painted two arrows, one for the use and the reuse coming up again. We got a mandate to make a facade on the right-hand building, which was separated from the old one on the left hand. And we started to think, what can we do to build it with reuse? We made a telephone call among a few window factories, and we got given all these windows. They were of different sizes, so it was not so easy to combine them to make a facade. Eventually, we made a mock-up and we covered the joints of the elements by these metal sheets. And so we got a very nice facade. We were looking for old timber, which was, of course, not of the same size. So we cut them, we saw it, and we glued it together again to get the same size. And with this timber and the windows, we built frames which have the size of what can be transported by a lorry. They brought it on site and it was fixed within 2 weeks. The whole building could be used again. That's how it looks now. Nobody realizes from the ground floor that the windows are so different. And the ones who realize it, they smile. From the inside, we see the different windows. They were all given to us. And also the window project is coming again soon. Another project was this house, which is in an area which we helped to develop with one of my companies. And then we proposed to make an example of reuse in this area. We knew we could build 3 more floors on top of this building. And we decided together with the owner of the building that it should be a new building made with reused materials. So we went to look for stairs, for electric fittings, for radiators, for facade cladding, for windows. We started to chase these materials. We found some in our own construction sites. Steel beams are really easy to reuse. We collected them and put them aside, and the engineer started to work on it and to calculate on how he could use it to build this 6-floor building. We found windows on one construction site. We found some on another. 3 glazed windows, aluminum frames, the best of Swiss quality, which you can imagine. We collected them and set them aside as well to make our new building. We found this orange cladding, metal sheets, which we also collected. And once, after 1 year, we had all the material ready. We started to make a new drawing as compared to the other one. It looks similar, but different. And we decided to keep the existing building, which is of 12 centimeter bricks only, very weak, but we kept it as an exterior shell. We put the new building inside, down to the ground with columns, micro columns to hold it, and we built it up inside, and on top we put up the new facade. This is how the facade looks. You recognize the orange metal sheets, then the aluminum windows. Then we used some even finer old timber, and we isolated the whole thing with straw. From the inside, you see the straw, which will be covered by clay, by clay plastering, and even the floor we wanted to make with clay. When we had the construction permit, we started to put up the metal frame, and you see something a bit funny. It looks as if that floor is too big for the building underneath, and yes, it is. We filled the lost, or the scaffolding, the lost shuttering. We had to use concrete because of the rules and regulations, which were not as far by then. Nowadays, we would do it with clay as well. Then we brought the frames with the windows already built in, with the straw already stuffed in, and closed the windows again in very short time. We closed all the floors, the 6 floors, and started to render, to cover the straw with the clay. And this is how it looks. When the building was finished, we could have made a ceiling from gypsum or paint it in white, but the tenants, the future tenants, they were happy like this, so we saved that money. And now you see how this construction protrudes over the old building, because the beams were longer than what we needed, but it doesn't matter. We can have a few square meters more by making this nose protrude over the old building. We call this design by availability. We can get our inspiration, our architectural inspiration from the material which we find and the way how we use it. Okay, now, with all this experience, the war started in Ukraine, and we said, how can we help this in this war devastated country? And we thought the most important thing will be windows. In Switzerland, hundreds of windows are destroyed. They call it recycling, but it's a destruction. Hundreds of windows are demolished every day. And in Ukraine, it is the same, as you know. So we said, why don't we collect these windows and send it to Ukraine? And for this, we made an association. It's called ReWin. We started to collaborate with another association in Ukraine. It's called Proactive Generation. We had contacts only over internet so far. We meet every 2 weeks, and we always ask them, can you use this amount of windows? What else do you need? And we have sent already 14 lorries with goods, used construction elements, but these are of such good quality that it's still better than having no window. We also work with another organization. It's called MetaLab in Ivano-Frankivsk, and they have a project called Cohati. They build, renovate houses for internally displaced persons, and we send them sanitary ware, we send them light fittings, we send them doors, we send whatever they need and can use for the renovation of these houses. As I said, thousands of windows are destroyed every day here in Switzerland. We collect them, we prepare them for transport. The Ukrainian organization sends us a lorry. We put all the windows into the lorry. Here it arrives in Kiev. It's unloaded, and people are happy to receive all these windows so they can repair the houses. Many houses are attacked. They are not completely destroyed. They just lack windows when the bombs fall and make their pressure. So the windows are broken. And the organization, they distribute these windows to the people who have the according holes, of course, more or less the size. And then they are built in. So you can see the old window, which is broken, and the new window built in. Here at the house, we couldn't give more than 8 windows to one owner. So the ground floor is repaired. The upper floor is still to be done. So my offer is, tell us what you need, and we will try to find it. Send a mail to info@rewin. Go to our homepage. We are trying to find whatever material you need. We cannot guarantee because we are not buying new material. We are just saving the old windows and doors and sanitary ware and kitchens from the dump here in Switzerland. Switzerland is so rich. People have so much money that they just want to buy the latest fashion and of course do something good for the environment by buying new windows, throwing away the old ones, which is just ridiculous because the energy needed to build the new ones is much more than what they can save with the new ones, but they don't want to realize this, although we have proven it by calculations. So this is again my offer. If you have any needs for construction elements, write to us and we'll see if we can help. Thank you.